obviously by now everybody has seen the iconic photographs that fairly heroically photographers who at that moment were worried about their lives potentially being taken. Some of the photographers were just feet away from Donald Trump, were taking photographs. And you can see sort of the iconic one right there. We could bring it back up of Donald Trump with his fist raised. And I want to just right off the bat, Donald Trump is obviously very good at branding. He's very good at PR. His mind works very quickly to figure out, what are people gonna take from this? So he stands up, he raises his fist. And that is the moment that I think understandably people are going to take away from that. And also in a few moments, I'm gonna give Donald Trump credit for what he has done since then. And we're gonna turn to that. But before that though, I just do wanna respond to America goes so overboard with some things and it's just who we are. I think there's a reason people are focusing on the photo more than the video, is because the photo I think more easily plays into what people want this moment to represent more than what it was. When you watch the video, there's the sounds of shots firing, horror, the worst thing that you wanna hear. He touches his ear, making you think, oh my God, he's been hit. And then he's borne to the ground by Secret Service, and we're gonna talk a lot about the Secret Service. A minute or two goes by, they hear that the shooter is down. He stands back up and he does that, and he's chanting fight, 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 and he's scowling, he's like grimacing. That, you don't get a lot of that in the photo. What you get is the heroic arm raised, and he looks resolute, he's got the blood, the effect of just being shot. And so coming out of it, it's defiant and it's heroic and it's brave. And there is heroism and bravery on display in that. Every one of those Secret Service agents deserves to be endlessly commended for their bravery. The man who died, who lost his life, heroic beyond measure. He stood up after knowing that the shooter was dead. And this is in no part a criticism of Donald Trump. It is simply, this can't be a sign of bravery because there was no place for bravery. He stood up after having been grazed, after he knows that he's under no more risk, and then makes an angry face and chants fight. Is that? But that's not what you get from the photo. The photo is defiant and America perseveres and all of that. But in the moment, that's not what it is. And I just wish that we could respond to what it actually is. And again, I will give him credit for what he has said since then. But I feel like everybody just wants to jump to, wouldn't it be great if this is what it was? And I'm just sick of how much of our politics is just taken over by that. But Francesca, what do you think? Am I off base here?
I don't think so. I think most people understand though that there wasn't imminent danger in that moment. I think the difference is, who does it occur to raise your fist defiantly and even say the words like fight, right? Exactly. And then he just runs away scared. But look, I mean, Trump deserves some amount of credit for understanding he's the leader of a real political movement in this country. It's a political movement that is incredibly scary, especially if you're a woman or a person of color or an immigrant. It's very scary for many of us who live in this country in the MAGA moment, but he is the leader of that movement. And so whereas you could imagine someone else, like heaven forbid, President Biden being scuttled off and not taking that moment to pump his fist. You see that Donald Trump, he's always fancied himself a martyr. He's always fancied himself being a victim of the deep state, of whatever it is. He's a victim of the left. He's a victim of Joe Biden. He's always painted himself a victim, even if he's the one doing the victimizing. And so this moment, he had a couple minutes to collect his thoughts. He had a couple minutes to get his shoes as he was worried about. This is no different. He's going to spin that into himself being a victim, himself being a martyr. And then I think the place where I disagree with him, because I think any political leader should do something like that and say, I'm okay, we're here. But the difference is he says fight. And the last time we heard him say things like fight, or we're gonna walk down to the Capitol, or we can't take this country back with weakness, a mob of thousands of people stormed the Capitol building and our representatives and senators' lives were at stake and people then died.
100%.
So like, it is very, very scary, although yes, a defiant and picture worthy moment, which is again, so bizarre that we only focus on, oh, what an image, wow.
Yeah, and look, and a lot of the initial reactions, look, some of this, it takes time for the full picture to come out, but like, I don't know, just like when I see people like Marco Rubio talking about like the grace of God saved him, like, well, it didn't save everybody. Is he more important than the life of the firefighter, the volunteer? Like, I hate that stuff. Again, like politics is a thing. Let's talk about that. for once and not just try to make it into something. And by the way, you said he's presenting himself as a victim. He is a victim. He got shot in the ear. That is what actually happened. He is a victim to that respect.
For the first time, he's a victim. And he's like,
100%.
hell yeah, this is what I've always wanted.
He also remains, by the way, literally the luckiest person that's ever lived. But that's it. But we can also be real. If he could
next to Greg
go
Abbott,
back, if he could go back and have it not hit him, would he? No way in hell. Literally no way in hell. And no Republican would want it not to hit him because they like the moment. Like let's be real about what actually happened. When you click the join button and become a tier 2 member, you get access to all of our weekly top 10 lists. What are you waiting for?